Just testing. Just testing. Alright, I'm gonna assume that it's working. It's not like it's a huge pressure right now. It's fine. But, hey, chat. There is no chat, but hey. Um, yeah, welcome back. I think, we're doing a lot of things in regards to, where we picked off, and there's a lot of things that we're gonna do. I think, I guess because it doesn't really matter at this moment. I could talk as if like I was, kind of letting you into a plan. It doesn't really matter because I mean, if you see it, you're gonna see it. But essentially, um, my goal is to become, like I said, one of the biggest streamers out there. I want to be on Aiden's level. I want to be on Kai's level. I want to be on Asho Speed's level. And this is a year to do that. And I think I'm gonna follow the example of the streamer of Sneeko. Um, I want to do something like that, except there's very particular things that I wouldn't necessarily go about those things. Not because I don't like the guy. I mean, I do. I think I'm a fan of him, especially his older content. Um, but it's more about practicalities. I have a mission to become one of the biggest streamers. Not because that's my main mission, but because I know it's a transition period. And this is one of the first goals that I have to achieve. And so my goal is literally, guys, my goal is probably to reach about, essentially about 10K at the minimum by the end of the year. And we're going to make it happen. And I'm going to become viral. And there's certain sort of practical implementations. I guess I could tell you one thing that I'm doing, which is, I'm gonna start exploding on TikTok. I'm gonna do a bunch of things where, I'm gonna become viral in that sense, and I'm gonna promote myself in that particular way, and then it's just gonna spread like wildfire. It's gonna be like a little virus that just kind of that spreads. Similar to what Sneeko did, similar to stuff like that. It's just I have to work a little bit harder because obviously you guys don't know me. I'm just some random guy talking right now on the internet. You could just think I'm talking out of my fucking ass, but this is the plan. This is legitimately the plan, and I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I know that it's a part of what I need to do, and right now, I'm alone. It's essentially as if I was recording. No one's gonna be watching, I'm pretty sure, but I'm just training, and this whole month of February is basically I'm just training. I'm just sort of watching scenes. I'm gonna be playing games, and then I'm gonna be sort of introducing Omegle and knowing how to use it within streaming, and I'm gonna use it, and then I'm gonna bring people on. Right now, I'll probably bring my cousin on or my best friend on, and we're gonna do a couple things here and there about that, and that's pretty much it. And then having all those culminations of things kind of coming together within this month, and then sort of the marketing process will start March, and then from there we just got to continue to build and build and build and build and no matter and then not stop. And then at a certain point, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me. You're the world will see. 100%, they will. And as I spoke about it before, I do think that it's a bit crazy that it all starts within the room. that I'm gonna do all of this in a room, and I find that to be insane. But a part of it, it's like it's kind of weird. You know, a lot of people, especially in the past, to try to get to the other side of fame or clout, they they've had to jump through hoops. They had to do this, the interview, and this. But literally, fucking us in this generation, we're just sitting in the computer, like doing this. Like I find that even though I am of this generation, I am of the age of the internet, I still find it to be a bit of a weird concept that it could just happen. But it will, and I totally believe it. I buy completely into it. But it's still it's still weird. It really is. And but I know it's gonna happen because I have complete confidence, and it's not even on some, like, I know a lot of people will like to make doubts. You know, that's how it always goes. Haters saying like, "Well, you're not gonna make it. How do you think you're gonna make it?" And this and this and that. That's always gonna be the case. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm gonna do it. But I mean more just simply, not even out of my own sense of belief in myself, but I mean that literally because now more than ever it's become fucking easy to do it. And I would be dumb to not take this fucking opportunity. And as I like to say, like I'm fighting to get on the other side of the Truman Show. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen, and you're gonna see me talk to a lot of the people that I want to talk to, all the streamers that I want to talk to, Kai, Asho, Aiden, XQC. You know, the list goes on. It's like there's a lot of people, YouTubers that I've always wanted to talk to, like these people that you see right here. They're lovely absurd. I used to watch their videos a lot of the times when I was in high school. They're always funny. It's kind of like innocent content and stuff like that. Obviously, they're like library pranks. I think that's what they're best known for. But they're cool dudes, and I've always wanted to. I want to hang out with them. I just want to talk to them, and just to do that. There's also a YouTuber called Steezy Kane. He was from Austin. I live in as you can tell, H Town, Houston, Texas. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people H Town. There's Gideon. Speaking of Houston, Gideon. I wanna work with him. I wanna work with um there's a lot of people. There's just a lot of people that I've always wanted to work with and that I've always wanted to collaborate with as sort of content creators. Obviously, I have bigger dreams beyond that, but as what I like to call my content creation phase, it's pretty much that. And I'm gonna make it happen, 100%. But yeah, you're like I said, you're gonna get to know me. There's a lot of things that are gonna be happening. Um, One thing I could tell you right now is that I could give you my list of favorite artists that I like. That's like a general thing. I mean, artists can be like music artists, or it could be like directors, or it could be like an actor, or it could be some general performance artist. It could be anything, painters, whatever. But I'm being more specific when it comes to like music. Um, I'll give you my list. It's five. I would say it's is XX Tentacion. Fourth is Depeche Mode. I'm wearing a shirt right now. It's a band. They're my favorite band of all time. Third is MJ, Michael Jackson. Second is David Bowie, and first, number one, is Easy, Kanye West. Yay. And yeah, they're my favorite artist. And I just thought I'd tell you guys. Um, you know, it's still weird to me because like it's like nobody's watching. I know that, but I know that they're gonna come along. I know that this time right now is kind of the safe area to kind of just still feel comfortable, but I don't know. Sometimes I think like what if someone pops in? It's just like someone pops in. But yeah, um, yeah, man. Yeah, but I have huge plans. We're gonna make it, and we're gonna make it. And I said we're gonna make it because like I want to bring people along, and this is a huge thing that I'm trying to accomplish here, and it's a huge thing, and it matters to me a lot, and we're gonna make it happen. And sometimes there's moments of doubt, maybe like, oh, this and that, maybe, but it's just like no matter what logistics people want to bring, they're logistics at the end of the day, and I know that I'm capable of accomplishing great things. I've done it before on a much smaller scale. You know, like I remember I made a film back in the day when I was in high school, and I was the only one that was able to get a scholarship to go to a film program that led me to go to New York, and I've always wanted to go to New York for the first time, and for like 2 weeks, and I had a great time. I was in Brooklyn. I was in like the Dumbo Street, and I just had a beautiful time. I really did. Um, and um, I really did. And how do I say this? Like, I just think that, like, by the way, like, once I make it, and successfully I do, I know that New York City has become kind of like Gotham City, from what I've heard of, like modern day Gotham City, but it's always been my dream to live in New York. I've always had it. I've always wanted to have that experience. Of course, I don't want to live there as like a long term type of thing, but I would at least want to have like a 1 year experience of just like living in New York and just having the full on experience, trying to get to know like as much of the intricacies as I possibly can of New York. Maybe 1 or 2 years, and that's it. I think minimum 1 year, maximum like 2 years, and that's it. But yeah, I have big goals to accomplish. We're gonna make it happen. So one Mexican kid is gonna make it happen. It's always like white and black people that are always in these places. I think it's about time for someone else for a different type. Although like with this mustache, I think you could tell that I'm Hispanic, but I think if I shave it, I look more European. But obviously, I'm not pale looking, but I mean, I have like a European aesthetic, so. But yeah. I mean, overall, I have big plans. I really do. So I think this is gonna be a very great, wonderful journey, and yeah, I mean, we're just gonna keep going. So I'm may potentially stream tomorrow. I'm not sure. Uh, I'm not sure, but I mean, I did it like what twice, so most likely I will because I want to fill that requirement. I don't want to fall over in terms of that part because I said three times the minimum and then 5 times the maximum a week. That's how it's always gonna go for now in the recent moment and sort of in the beginning. But obviously over time, once I'm able to profit out of this completely, I'm going ham. I'm doing it every single fucking day. But obviously we're in the beginning, so we have to be more strategic. I have fucking other things. I have college. Um I have I have what's it called? I have a job. One of my biggest goals right now is to get a job so I can get the fuck out of the house already because I live under the roof of my parents still. So um, I need to get out. So that's one of the biggest things that I have right now in my personal life. But yeah, we're gonna make this happen. I know I will. I know we're gonna make this happen, and I'm sorry. I keep looking here, but it's supposed to look there. Like talking to y'all. But I need to get used to that. But yeah, we're gonna make it happen. Trust me. So let's do this. Right now, I just want to watch like 1 or 2 videos. One of the Daily Dose of Internet, and then the other one being possibly Story Vault. So let's go at it. Let me just fix up this thing real quick. I don't want it to be like that. Alright. Cool. Let's... Yeah. Alright. Donald's gave him the wrong order. Let's try this one.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes.
I do have the program, but I haven't.
Do mushrooms freak you out?
I'm not sure.
These won't. But it's no wonder shrooms get a bad.
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. This person went through a McDonald's drive-thru, looked in his bag, and saw that he received the wrong order. He got $5,000 in cash instead.
Like, what is this? Why would they do this?
He decided to be a good person and return the cash.
You guys laundering money out here?
Oh my God! Blessed from God. I really want to give you a hug.
And I get free McDonald's for a month, I guess.
That's a W. That's a W. I love the fries. I'm not trying to eat too much because fucking, like, you know, but sometimes I, like, go at night and I get bloated. But I'm not trying to do that. But we're gonna do it. I mean, I'm not gonna do that, but because I'm trying to lose the weight. I'm trying to look like, you know, fucking Johnny Depp. He's one of my favorite actors, by the way. But I'm trying to look like Johnny Depp and more like, just like fucking cool and skinny and shaven and like wolf-like. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever. What the fuck?
Ooh, he's snitching. Everybody, he's snitching. Hey, dude, get back.
Hey guys, we'll be chugging a Dr. Pepper for Happy New Year's. Alright, well, Happy New Year, guys.
This gorilla did not like how this girl
That's so weird. That's weird.
was beating on her chest.
They're gonna fucking punch you, man. Is that a crack? They do be like that, though. They do be like that. They be like that, bro.
Here's a pretty easy science experiment showing how to bend light. When the lights are off, you can see how the laser bounces off the walls of the water stream.
I wish my piss looked like that.
Oh my God, I swear to God, this thing just... He looked at me.
This guy trained his cat to turn on the Xbox.
Big man, I need the Xbox on, please. Thank you.
Keep that.
Bro, like, this is so dumb. Look at this.
W outfit.
I'm taking a... I can literally see it over the...
You want to come in?
Oh, God.
Your flipper, you silly boy.
So this is pretty cool. The gas stations in Japan look a little different. All the hoses just kinda hang from the ceiling.
What? How are you supposed to drag it down? Like, do they press a button? Oh.
This has got to be the saddest baby I've ever seen.
You know, like in movies, they always like make it look cool when you like fucking jump on like a crash like a window like shield. They make it look cool, but like I've always been afraid of like obviously the cuts, but they don't make it seem that way. But I'm pretty sure that whatever little thing it can kind of get to you, obviously. But I don't know.
He's totally not me. I'm sorry. Oh my god. What'd you do? Oh my god, I scared him.
It was so cold in Minnesota that this YouTuber decided to make some artwork using toilet paper.
Spray until it's thick enough to hold the roll.
This dog got upset when this guy stopped petting. Poor little guy was stressed out.
Hey. The fuck is that? Rat.
Oh.
That guy's from the fucking grip. That grip, bro.
This is how quickly they engrave names on a trophy after someone wins a tennis tournament. The engraver waits to see who wins and then immediately goes to work. After a few minutes, the trophy is ready for the presentation. That is the end of this video, or we hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Later.
Alright. W video. That was cool. We're gonna be doing stuff like this, bro. We're just gonna be watching. This is a part of the strategy that we're gonna get to. But that was a W video. Okay? Alright. Now, I think, let me see how much time I've been. It's not long. I'd probably... Alright, let's be a little bit more, end it off on like some existential note. I love this channel. It's like, teases my cinematic eye. It does, so. I watched this video before, but I'm gonna watch it again. By the way, Fight Club is one of my favorite movies. But I'm pretty sure that's not, like, extremely unique. It appeals to a lot of men, and I am a man. But, I just love it. I love I'll explain it later, but it is one of my favorite movies, and Tyler Durden is one of my favorite characters.
This video is brought to you by Mubi, an online cinema streaming hand-picked exceptional films from around the globe. Get 1 month free at Mubi.com.
It's worth my mind. One of the greatest songs, by the way. I love that song. I love it. This is a Sigma male type, like, fucking, like, yes.
Like a monkey ready to be shot into space. Space monkey.
There's something painfully ironic about Tyler Durden's followers in the film Fight Club. Here we have a whole group of men who are drawn towards an individual for his self-actualization and independency of thought, only to become blind followers. A group of men who want to break free, who want to become their own man, and end up becoming space monkeys. What is this strange and contradictory phenomenon of men seeking enlightenment and ending up ignorant? Of men proclaiming they want freedom, only to accept imprisonment through mindless obedience? Who, in short, become the very opposite of the ideal they were striving for?
I don't know, I don't understand. I mean, why does a weaker person need to latch on to a strong person? What is that?
I could say by the way.
In the denial,
I could say that, to speak to that idea a little bit more deeper, that I think that, I don't know, it's human beings are built, most human beings are built to follow. Because there's a scary idea of independence. Otherwise, a lot of people would do it. But it's scary to do that. And I understand, it doesn't come from like a place of complete hatred when I do see, you know, people doing that. It's just that people latch on to those kinds of things just simply because of the fact that it's scary to be independent. And to be like that, and usually when you're independent, you're some form of leader. And I think that this could apply to anyone that has that capability to do that. But I would say that yeah, most human beings are sheep. They're just, and I don't necessarily, well, I kind of do. I fucking mean that. Okay, you're sheep. You're sheep. But it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that most people are meant to follow. It's like there's this yearning desire to follow someone. And, you know, there's certain people, whether for good or bad, they fulfill those roles. And a lot of the times it's very difficult because it can just be subjective, but that is really the case. So I would say that, yeah, it's a strange phenomenon, as they say. Phenomenon.
of death, Ernest Becker pondered the same question. He observed the folly of men who, throughout history, gave their loyalty to other men, and who, after snapping out of the spell and reflecting on it, would wonder how they believed so blindly and obeyed so willingly. How can a mature man be so fascinated, and why? He observed that the most reasonable explanation is that leaders tend to seem larger than life. They project a powerfulness that others are drawn to, and because men both worship and fear power, they give their loyalty to those who dispense it.
He's a great man. Oh. Do you know about Tyler Durden?
But this explanation, Becker continues.
I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna sound, as people say, sus. It's sus, man. But I feel like in the weirdest way of all, like a man's relationship to either his mentor or someone that he looks up to or some like figure that they admire is probably the deepest relationship that any man can have. It's even bigger than a relationship you have with your girlfriend or your girl or your woman or your wife, often at times. Like, I do honestly believe that. You fall in love with the concept of the idol that you worship in some kind of senses. And men, I don't necessarily see that with women. Like, I don't see that kind of sin. I mean, I think it more happens across the board. Like, I don't think I see that with women in particular. I mean, it can happen, obviously, but I don't think it happens to the extent as men having a fascination with another man. Like, it's a very, and it's not necessarily anything sexual. It really isn't. It's more just, it's a deep bond and relationship that you form with someone, with the figure, or just this mentor figure, or this other man that is more capable than you. And it's a deeper relationship. I would also compare that to, weirdly, the relationship between Batman and the Joker. I feel like Batman, in a weird way, he has to protect the Gotham, and he has to protect the normal people and the normal civilians from the criminals and all these people, but in a weird way, he relates more to the criminals, and the criminal above them all is Joker. And he relates to Joker in particular more than he relates to the civilians, so to the quote-unquote normal people, the civilians, the normal people in society. And it must be a strange predicament, because it's like the reason you're doing this is because you want to protect the innocent people, the normal people, all the stuff like that from all these freaks. But the thing is that you, like Batman, is also a freak, and the people of Gotham see that. So although they know that they're being protected by him, they're also very fearful of him. They're scared. And he does that intentionally, but I think that there's an unintentional factor that sort of is produced by that, which is really just the fact that he finds himself in this weird predicament where the deepest relationship, even amongst, I mean, obviously he has girls, he's like a billionaire and shit like that, that's the whole point of Bruce Wayne, but I would say that the deepest relationship that he's ever had is one with Joker. It's the ideological battle. It's the satisfaction of that battle that they're having. Of order and chaos and the beauty that comes from that clash. That's the ironic yet beautiful predicament that they're in. And I'd say that that's a sort of relationship that I would say between both men, that isn't necessarily sexual, but it's not at all actually, but it's the deepest relationship that you could have with any human being. It's the kind of moment where you're both dying at the fucking, stone while you're both trying to kill each other, and you both ending up killing each other, and you die together trying to fight each other. It's like there's something very existential yet beautiful about that. And like often at times in life you would think like, oh, you would want to die with your girl, and of course I would want to do that, but there's something beautiful about that. And it's not sexual at all. It's more of a intense battle that happens between men. And I think that it's beautiful. And of course people will take that and fucking, it's sus, bro. It's like, you're an idiot, bro. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you're an idiot and you're homophobic. And, I'm none of those things, so I don't give a fuck. But, yeah, I love this movie. So it's a very beautiful movie.
Only touches the surface. Men don't become slaves out of mere calculating self-interest. The slavishness is in the soul. He argues that the fascination with a leader is found in the eyes of the beholder. Therefore, what needs to be explained is not so much the traits of the leader, but more so the experience of the follower. The question then
I would also compare that to the relationship between an artist and their fans, basically. Because a lot of the times, I kind of compare that relationship between a man and a woman. Often in society, there's this sort of, predicament where, and I don't necessarily advocate for this because I don't think it should be something that's universally done, but I've seen it across a lot with like my uncles and our fathers and stuff like that, especially the more toxic you are, the more a woman falls in love. That's not accurate completely, and I don't think we shouldn't act that way. But that it does prove to be self-evident, and so my whole point with that is basically like men sort of like a relationship between a man and a woman is sort of the same dynamic of like an artist and the fan relationship. It's like a lot of the times the artist goes through hell to try to create and form this whole thing. And at the end of the day, people fall in love with this sort of idea of the particular artist, but they don't know the pain that that comes with being that artist and being that person, and in this case, being the leader. So, yeah. By the way, that whole man and woman thing, I suspect there's sort of canceling natures of a lot of things that will happen from that. I don't give a fuck. I know what my purpose is. We're gonna be bigger. We're gonna accomplish things. I don't care what people say. I will become one of the greatest artists of all time, and I will become one of the greatest content creators right here in this platform. I will do it. I will be IShowSpeed. I will be Aiden Ross. I will be Kai Cenat. I will be all these people have inspired me, and we're gonna get on that level. And we're gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make sure that I don't commit the same mistake that Cinco made. That's all I'll say. So, yeah. Let's continue.
Posed by Becker is that if all people are more or less alike, why do we burn with such all-consuming passions for some of them?
No, wait, back up. Let me start earlier.
Before we get into the reasons men become infatuated with characters like Tyler Durden, we must first address their deeper desires and motivations, which, according to Becker, are the same for everyone when broken down to their most fundamental level. In his main thesis, he argues that the real dilemma of man's existence is that he is a mortal animal who is conscious of his own mortality, and, like any other animal facing annihilation, he desperately seeks to escape it. It's not so much the death of our physical being that we fear, but rather the death of our symbolic self, of the unique identity we crafted for ourselves. That is the real tragedy, to spend years coming into our own, developing talents, suffering hardships, becoming mature, seasoned, finally a unique creature in nature, standing with some dignity and nobility, and transcending the human condition. And then he is good only for dying.
I had it was very decent. A wardrobe that was getting very respectable. I was close to being complete.
Hence the fundamental problem of man. He wants to overcome death, and because he cannot do so literally, he does so symbolically.
And this is how I met
Tyler Durden.
The fascination with Tyler Durden can be explained by what psychoanalyst Fritz Redl calls the infectiousness of the unconflicted person.
Tyler, you are by far the most interesting single-serving friend I've ever met.
He seduces us because he does not have the same conflicts that we have. He is confident where we feel ashamed. He is free where we feel trapped. And most importantly, he breaks the ice. He does what no one else dared to do.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
By performing this initiatory act, the unconflicted person
I love that scene. I fucking love that scene. Like, I'm gonna make it into real life. Like, I'm the kind of person that, like, a lot of people, they just leave their films to be fantasies in their head because it's just a movie. And although that is somewhat of a right way of looking at it, I take it literally. I'm the kind of person, like, when I was a little kid, like, literally me, like, obviously I'm a fan of superheroes. My favorite superhero is fucking Spider-Man. By the way, Andrew Garfield goated everyone else. So, I mean, Toby, great movies. I mean, he's my favorite movie. Okay, let me just break this down. Toby's movies are my favorite movies, like best Spider-Man movies. Andrew is my favorite Spider-Man. And then Tom Holland, I'm not personally like a fan, but I do understand objectively that he's sort of the most comic accurate version of Spider-Man. So I would say that objectively he's the best, but I prefer Andrew all the way above all of them. Little notice thing. But yeah, when I was a little kid, like around 13 years old, I'm with my best friend, his name is Akili, and then there was another friend who we don't talk to anymore, so Jose, and we literally were out there, like, kind of like Kick-Ass, like the movie. Like, we were trying to become real life superheroes. Like, we took this shit seriously. We were working out. We were building batarangs. We were building, like, web shooters. we were doing all kinds of shit, and it lit up to the point where like we literally were at a rooftop of like one of the Houston buildings, and we were just like listening to police comms. It went that far. It didn't go any farther than that, but I guess my sort of the point of that story is the fact that I'm the kind of person that takes I take films literally. Like, I don't see the point in trying to distinguish them into, like I understand, I know that there's a difference. Of course I know. I wouldn't, I would be delusional to think that there isn't a difference, that there's a separation between the screen and in reality. But the thing is that I want to live life to the absolute fullest, and a part of that is doing what I need to do right now to get to the other side of the Truman Show, as I call it. And I'm gonna do everything that I want to do. I'm gonna do absolutely everything. I want to do what Tom Cruise does. I want to like go on a fucking halo jump and drop down and do all this stuff. I'm gonna do it all, and yeah, I want to fight. I want to fucking. Hey, maybe potentially in the future I'll fight KSI. That's how crazy it is. I could say this right now and then I become famous at a certain point in the future, and then fucking KSI's gonna call me out and say, "What did you say, bro? What did you say? What did you say, bro? You wanna fight me?" It's like, I'm a fan of him, by the way, but I mean, I would fight him. Like, I have the confidence that I feel like if I trained a lot, I could beat him. So, but, maybe I'm delusional, but I do feel like I could beat him. But, yeah. Yeah.
A space in which he, as Freud once observed, allows others to express forbidden impulses and secret wishes.
It was on the tip of everyone's tongue. Tyler and I just gave it a name.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club.
With this central person to latch onto and form a group around, the members do not feel that they are alone with their own smallness and helplessness.
I be smoking not even for that. I just be
powers
smoking
of the hero
sometimes because
leader
I
with
just want
whom
to
they
look cool.
are identified.
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'll all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact.
Sure, though.
We're very, very pissed off.
Yeah.
Tyler's Fight Club is particularly enticing because it acknowledges man's existential dilemma and turns this fundamental source of misery into a pathway towards salvation.
First you have to know, not fear. Know that someday you're gonna die.
We just had a near-life experience.
Because of this rejection of the very notion of self-identity, we gradually see Tyler's followers transform into the aforementioned space monkeys.
We're not special.
Tyler built himself an army. To what purpose? In Tyler we trusted.
And subsequently, we see these former somebodies blindly follow Tyler's orders into increasingly severe acts of violence and terrorism. But, as Becker argues, there's something deeper going on here. It is not just that Father permits it or orders it. It is more the magical heroic transformation of the world and of oneself. It explains why men are so willing to submit themselves, so capable of doing what any rational mind would condemn. Heroic transformation doesn't just provide a philosophy or a justification for action, it provides a story.
We're the middle children of history, man. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives.
A story that gives the world a fundamental purpose.
Fight Club became the reason to cut your hair short or trim your fingernails.
A story that gives meaning to death.
In death, a member of Project Mayhem has a name. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. This is all over with. His name is Robert Paulson.
Without even judging the acts of violence and the specifics of Tyler's ideology, We see the inherent danger of this kind of transformation that inevitably simplifies a complex world into one of insiders and outsiders, of worthy heroes and punishable villains, of imagined destinies and unquestioned entitlement. A transference of one's helplessness, guilt and conflicts into a narrow construction of meaning and identity. All facilitated by the central leader who absolves his followers from any personal responsibility, but in exchange absorbs their personal freedom and individuality. Psychoanalyst Wilfred Bion extended this line of thought by explaining how the leader too loses his individuality just as much as his followers, and that he is just as unfree precisely because he has to qualify for leadership by acting in accordance to the group's assumptions and expectations, which of course can escalate beyond what the leader intended.
You said if anyone ever interferes with Project Mayhem, even you, we gotta get his balls.
As to our unnamed narrator, there's a sense of irony in watching his desperate attempts to escape the clutches of Fight Club, both as a follower and as its leader, and in the realization that he is basically back where he began, trying to free himself from a set of principles that once promised him a symbolic victory over death, but now seem empty and destructive.
I think this is about where we came in.
It also shows that while Fight Club portrays an extreme version of how men can fetishize leaders and turn into byproducts of an ideology, it is something we have all done to greater or lesser extent, and are probably still doing right now. It even occurs with fictional characters. Just look at how many men were completely enamored with Tyler Durden's philosophy despite knowing he ends up being the main antagonist in the story. This, however, might be the film's fault, as Fight Club is rather notorious for its conflicting messages, and for having text that says one thing, while the subtext says something else. Take for example how they mock the poster of a male model.
That what a man looks like?
Which is followed by the iconic shot of Tyler rising into the frame to become the workout goal for pretty much every guy who joined the gym after the film's release. Of course, being inspired by other men isn't necessarily harmful, but it does point to some deeper issues.
We're a generation of men raised by women.
Today, it seems like it's particularly young men who yearn for male role models, for leaders who offer safe havens where their troubles don't seem so troubling anymore, and where they can finally feel like they belong. It's essentially a search for father figures, not just in the paternal sense, but also as sources for purpose and meaning.
Our fathers were models for God. If our fathers bailed, what does that tell you about God?
But these stand
There's always I think fathers to a certain capacity, they're always gonna be, I feel like it's inevitable that they're always gonna be somewhat absent in some senses, because if it's not literal or physical, then it's emotional or it's spiritual. It can be in any capacity. So I think a lot of men sort of come to that point of contention, I guess. I would know that to a certain extent, without going into too much detail, but yeah.
And in models never seem to last. They never truly fill the void that lingers underneath. And this is because leaders offer stories, and stories demand illusions, and sooner or later, illusions fall apart. Besides, stories can easily be corrupted by men who, intentionally or unintentionally, act out of their own self-interest. To quote an extended passage of Becker's The Denial of Death, "When we are young, we are often puzzled by the fact that each person we admire seems to have a different version of what life ought to be, what a good man is, how to live, and so on. If we are especially sensitive, it seems more than puzzling. It is disheartening. What most people usually do is to follow one person's ideas and then another's, depending on who looms largest on one's horizon at the time. The one with the deepest voice, the strongest appearance, the most authority and success is usually the one who gets our momentary allegiance, and we try to pattern our ideals after him. But as life goes on, we get a perspective on this, and all these different versions of truth become a little pathetic. Each person thinks that he has the formula for triumphing over life's limitations, and knows with authority what it means to be a man, and he usually tries to win a following for his particular patent. Today we know that people try so hard to win converts for their point of view because it is more than merely an outlook on life. It is an immortality formula. It is important to be aware of these dynamics in order to better judge whose ideas we follow, who we give our allegiance to, and whether or not they really aim to empower others.
We give each other strength.
Or merely serve to empower themselves. Therefore, if you find yourself being fascinated with one man's worldview or ideology, really ask yourself, what is seen as truth? What is seen as lie? What is deemed heroic? What is deemed villainous? Who needs to be saved and who needs to suffer? Who do I have to be and who do I really want to be? The point is not so much to weigh one man's ideas against another's, but rather to make you think about the underlying principles that draw you towards these would-be leaders in the first place. Because what is perhaps the main lesson here is that the world is always bigger than what any one man has to say about it. And so what truly matters is to always reflect, to stay critical, to safeguard your freedom, your moral compass, and your individuality. For no man is great enough for you to become his space monkey.
Trust me, everything's gonna be fine. You met me at a very strange time in my life.
What is probably the best way to avoid being enticed by the promises of charismatic hero leaders is to expand your personal worldview, to seek out diverse voices and different perspectives, for a platform that actively operates.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite films. It means a lot to me. And yeah, man, I think there's a lot that yeah. This is gonna be a really weird journey, like you're gonna see me. I think I literally want to become the streamer that I've always wanted to see. Just like with anything, like how I've always wanted to see. If I see an artist, I've always wanted to be like that. Like, for example, Kanye, he's literally that. Like, he's pretty much to the T in every regard. The kind of artist that I've always wanted to be. David fulfills certain aspects of it as well, very much. It's like that. And so as a streamer in this sort of first phase, I want to become the content creator that I've always wanted to see. I want to be able to reach the masses and to be able to be like iShow, Aiden, all these people, be able to do all the dumb fucking shit that people do. I say it's dumb, and it is kind of, but it's also funny. It's funny, it's hilarious. I see why it works. I watch it myself. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to, like, sort of come along and see the craziness. But I want the real fans, the people that would eventually be about 50K people watching me on average. I want those people to come along, to witness me, to see me, and to really just have an intense experience with me. I want to be that one person. I want to be the person that I can be able to successfully reach the masses. There's a lot of people, the chat is going crazy. And it's going crazy because I earned it. I did a lot of crazy shit. I was going... Yeah. I would be going crazy, but after all those antics, there comes a point where you're gonna see moments like these. You're gonna see a part of me, and you're gonna see an intense part of me, and I want to be able to get like an intense experience like that to the point that I become like some fucking edit. Like you put me in the Metamorphosis beat, or you put me in the Perfect Girl. I love the Perfect Girl, by the way. It's in fact, let me play it right now, just real quickly. But like like this.
You might not be her father.
Well, not this.
But your son is.
Say
who you can say.
Alright. Can I get that? Alright, cool. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of this song a billion times, TikTok and stuff like that, but I literally listened to this song when people weren't listening to it. Like, I thought it was like some independent weird out of my fucking alternative sound. But it's become one of the biggest songs, and I love it. It's beautiful, man.
You're my brother, Anakin!
It's like...
I love you!
Look at that.
I said you, Anakin!
What have you become? Anakin's gone. I am what remains. Ahsoka.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last.
Don't let yourself be destroyed as Obi-Wan did. I am your father.
That name no longer has any meaning to me.
I know there's good in you.
It is too late.
I don't know if it's
Fails your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
I'll stop it right there. But yeah, I hope one day, like, I'm saying some intense shit, and then people put me in, like, an edit, where, like, I'm saying, like, yeah, you know, like, you gotta, you know, like, you know, think about things different, and I feel this in my, you know, like that, and they put me in the edit, and I'm like, yeah, I've always wanted to see that, and I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna manifest it. So yeah. But yeah, yeah. As I said before, I'm very excited about this journey. I think I just can't wait till this whole thing turns around. My life is essentially gonna be changing around this whole year. This is 2023, and it's gonna fucking change. I know it is. It's a goated year. It's a goated number. Michael Jordan. I know change is gonna happen, and I know that it's inevitable, and I'm gonna make it happen. And I've already done it, and you know, it will start out by me getting the fuck out of this house, getting my own apartment. It'll start by me taking care of my personal project. It'll start by me, you know, going to because I've been in community college, but I'm gonna go to U of H as a school. And then beyond that, just to have fun and to go out there and to actually have fun, because I've been isolated for way too long. I'm not gonna lie. I have been. And it's time to win. It's time to prove all the fucking haters wrong. And it's time to just win, because success is the biggest revenge that you could have. A lot of people, they become losers and they just let it go. And I mean, what do you think? I mean, there's a lot of situations that people just let it go and they become that, but I'm not. I've always had hope. I know that I'm designed for something bigger, for a bigger meaning in life. I've always felt that was a destined path, basically, and I'm going to fulfill it no matter what, and no one's gonna stop me. So, we're gonna do this. Alright, guys, I'll probably stream tomorrow. I'm not sure. Most likely, I'm gonna do everything that I can to stream. But if not, I'll do them definitely Monday, and then I'll just begin the streak. I really want this upcoming week. I think within this upcoming week, I'm really gonna be playing games. That's the first order of hand. And I'll probably bring out some other people, probably my friend or my cousin. And then, yeah. It's a lot of things that I have to take care of, but we're gonna make it happen. So, let's do this, and, you know, that was a good second stream, so, very proud of myself, and we're gonna make it happen, so, yeah, guys. Alright. Well, let me, I don't need to make it full screen. I could just end it here. Alright. Bye, guys. I'll see you later.